it wrong anyway. And I took Candace to a highly recommended child psychiatrist, and he talked to her for about 15 minutes and said, well, she has a generalized anxiety disorder. The only way that this anxiety was manifesting itself was in tests. There were no other areas of anxiety.
They're not telling you that it's entirely psychologically based and subjective. They're just saying, oh, well, based on these symptoms, you have a chemical imbalance.
And then with a chemical imbalance, it's like, where did they come up with that? What chemicals?
Exactly.
I love that. Like, where's the test? Don't we get a test?
Where are the tests, you know?
Yeah.
You can draw somebody's blood and see if they have cancer. Those are real medical diagnoses. If somebody tells you that your child has ADHD, ask them to draw their blood and show you the chemical imbalance causing this. And they can't do it because they haven't proven the chemical imbalance that's causing this. It's completely arbitrary and subjective, and it is their opinion that that's what's going on with your child, who you are actually the expert on.
They always hide behind, I say they, you know, the psychiatrists and the psychologists, they always hide behind, we're doing this in the best interest of your child, you know? And that's really hard to get around, you know, as a mom. You know, you're out there and you're like, I want to do what's in the best interest of my kid, you know?
Playing on the guilt again.
Yeah.
If you loved your child, you drug them for their own well-being.
And you want to do what is right for your child, so you bow to the pressure because you think that they know, because they have an educational history, they've gone to college, they're more powerful, they know.
They're the professionals.
You know your child better than anybody. Tune them out. You do what your heart tells you. You don't listen to them.
These women were strong, knowledgeable, and determined to spread the word that what had happened to their children could happen to anyone's. Because when it comes to diagnosing kids with psychiatric disorders, no one really knows what they're doing, as a group of high school students found out when they interviewed psychiatrists at a recent psychiatric convention.
With all the diagnoses out there, how do you know which one to choose?
For a patient?
Yeah.
The diagnosis?
This is a good question.
Well, it can be pretty difficult to pick a diagnosis.
Psychiatry is not like other fields of medicine, and the diagnoses are sometimes kind of muddy.
Yeah, just often pick and mix, so it's not that difficult usually.
I pick the psychosis group of diagnosis.
We don't always make the perfect diagnosis, but we try to make one and revise it.
It's really hard. They're oftentimes wrong half the time.
Sometimes we don't need a diagnosis.
Oftentimes it's not for us as important what the exact diagnosis is.
Diagnosis is based on what is it for. If it's for reimbursement or if it's to get you off the hook.
You develop a list of possibilities as to what the diagnosis might be.
Well, asking all the questions in your mind. You can't ask all the questions of everybody. You can't ask everybody all the questions. So you have to do the questions in your mind and ask the right questions.